23 years have passed since The Lord of the Rings. The Return of the King brought one of cinema's greatest trilogies to an unforgettable conclusion. Over the years, its remarkable cast has followed very different paths. Some became global Hollywood icons. Some quietly stepped away from the spotlight. Others transformed in ways fans never expected. And a few beloved faces have sadly left us forever. Their journeys are every bit as extraordinary as the adventure they shared in Middle-earth. Let's revisit the unforgettable cast of The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and discover where life has taken them nearly 23 years later. Bernard Hill, King Theoden. The first time audiences saw King Theoden restored from despair, it felt as though hope itself had returned to the kingdom of Rohan. Behind that unforgettable performance stood Bernard Hill, an actor whose commanding presence and emotional depth helped transform one of Tolkien's most beloved kings into a cinematic legend. Born on December 17, 1944 in Manchester, England, Bernard Hill was around 58 years old while filming The Return of the King. Before joining Peter Jackson's epic trilogy, Hill had already built an extraordinary career across British television, theater, and film. Many viewers first recognized him as Yoser Hughes in the acclaimed television drama Boys from the Black Stuff, while international audiences remembered him as Captain Edward Smith in James Cameron's Titanic. Remarkably, Hill remains the only actor to appear in two films that each won 11 Academy Awards, Titanic and The Return of the King. As King Theoden, Hill portrayed a ruler who overcame magical corruption to lead his people with unmatched courage. His stirring speech before the Ride of the Rohirrim has become one of the most celebrated moments in fantasy cinema. The determination in his eyes and the raw emotion in his voice elevated the battle sequence into something unforgettable. Viewers admired Theoden because he represented redemption, honor, and sacrifice rather than invincibility. One fascinating behind-the-scenes fact is that Hill reportedly delivered much of Theoden's legendary battlefield speech with genuine emotion after numerous rehearsals. But Peter Jackson encouraged him to make each take feel spontaneous. The result became one of the trilogy's defining scenes. Following Middle-earth, Hill appeared in films such as Valkyrie alongside Tom Cruise, and continued working steadily in British television, including Wolf Hall. Although he never sought celebrity status, fellow actors consistently praised his professionalism and quiet generosity. Bernard Hill largely kept his private life away from public attention and never married. He preferred allowing his performances to speak louder than interviews or headlines. Sadly, Bernard Hill passed away on May 5, 2024, at the age of 79. His family did not publicly disclose a specific cause of death. His passing prompted heartfelt tributes from colleagues across the entertainment industry, many remembering not only his remarkable talent, but also his kindness behind the scenes. King Theoden's final charge continues to inspire audiences around the world, ensuring Bernard Hill's legacy will forever ride across the fields of Middle-earth. Bernard Hill passed away in 2024, but his unforgettable performance continues to live on through this timeless classic. John Rhys Davies, Gimli loud, fearless, and endlessly loyal, Gimli brought both thunderous laughter and unwavering courage to the Fellowship. Yet beneath the impressive prosthetics was an actor whose career had already stretched across decades before he ever picked up an axe. John Rhys Davies was born on May 5, 1944 in Salisbury, Tanganyika, present-day Tanzania. During the filming of The Return of the King, he was about 58 years old. Long before Middle-earth, audiences around the globe knew him as the lovable Egyptian excavator Allah in the Indiana Jones films alongside Harrison Ford. Television fans also remembered his memorable role as Professor Maximilian Arturo in the science fiction series Sliders. As Gimli, son of Gloin, Rhys Davies portrayed the proud dwarf warrior whose unlikely friendship with Legolas became one of the trilogy's emotional highlights. Gimli wasn't simply comic relief. He represented resilience, loyalty, and the willingness to set aside centuries of prejudice for a greater cause. His bravery during the Battle of Helm's Deep and later the Battle of the Pelennor Fields cemented him as one of the Fellowship's most dependable members. An incredible production secret is that Rhys Davies actually spent relatively little time on set compared to what many fans assume. Because Gimli's elaborate makeup process lasted nearly 5 hours each day, a highly skilled, double-handled, numerous wide action shots, while the actor focused on close-ups and dialogue-heavy scenes. Even so, his unmistakable voice gave Gimli much of his unforgettable personality. After the trilogy, Rhys Davies remained one of the industry's busiest character actors. His rich voice became highly sought after for documentaries, animation, and video games. He also appeared in numerous independent films and continued attending fan conventions around the world, where his storytelling and humor made him a favorite among audiences. His marriage to costume designer Suzanne Wilkinson ended in divorce, and together they had one daughter. In later years, he has largely kept his personal relationships private while remaining active professionally. Although now in his 80s, Rhys Davies continues accepting selective acting roles and voice work. He has spoken openly about the physical demands of filming The Lord of the Rings, joking that wearing Gimli's costume often felt like carrying another person on his shoulders. Few performers could have balanced comedy, courage, and heartfelt emotion with such ease. John Rhys Davies is 82 years old in 2026. Billy Boyd, Peregrine Pippin, took. Not every hero begins as a warrior. Sometimes, greatness belongs to the one who stumbles into adventure with curiosity, kindness, and a heart far bigger than anyone expects. That spirit perfectly describes both Pippin Took and the actor who brought him to life, Billy Boyd. Born on August 28, 1968, in Glasgow, Scotland, Billy Boyd was around 34 years old during the filming of The Return of the King. Before his career-changing journey into Middle-earth, Boyd had appeared in smaller British productions, including Taggart and the film Urban Ghost Story. His natural warmth and humor made him an ideal choice for Tolkien's lovable Hobbit. Pippin undergoes one of the trilogy's most remarkable transformations. Initially mischievous and impulsive, he gradually matures into a courageous young man willing to risk everything for Gondor and his friends. One of the most emotionally devastating moments arrives when Pippin sings The Edge of Night for Denethor, while Faramir rides toward near-certain death. Boyd performed the haunting song himself, creating one of the trilogy's most unforgettable sequences. A little-known fact is that Peter Jackson was so impressed by Boyd's musical abilities that years later, he invited him to write and perform The Last Goodbye, the emotional closing song for The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. The touching ballad became a heartfelt farewell to Middle-earth and remains beloved by fans. Following the trilogy, Boyd appeared in films including Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World, and television series such as Outlander. Beyond acting, he continued pursuing music, performing with his band Beefcake and later contributing to various soundtrack projects. Boyd married Alison McKinnon in 2010, and the couple has one son. Despite international fame, he has maintained a relatively private family life while remaining closely connected with his fellow cast members. Reunions with Dominic Monaghan, Elijah Wood, and other members of the Fellowship continue to delight fans worldwide. Even decades after leaving the Shire behind, Boyd frequently attends conventions and charity events, where his enthusiasm for the trilogy remains as genuine as ever. His affection for Tolkien's world has never appeared forced. It simply feels like returning home. Pippin taught audiences that courage often grows from the most unlikely places, and Billy Boyd carried that same sincerity throughout his remarkable career. Billy Boyd is 58 years old in 2026. Dominic Monaghan, Meriadoc Mary Brandybuck. Some heroes earn their place through unmatched strength. Others win our hearts through quiet determination and steadfast loyalty. Mary Brandybuck belonged firmly to the second group, and Dominic Monaghan delivered a performance that turned the adventurous Hobbit into one of the trilogy's most inspiring characters. Born on December 8, 1976, in Berlin, West Germany, and raised in Manchester, England, Dominic Monaghan was about 25 to 27 years old during the filming of The Return of the King. Before stepping into Middle-earth, he was already familiar to British audiences through the television series Hetty Wainthropp Investigates, where he played Geoffrey Shawcross. While his resume was still growing, Peter Jackson recognized the wit, charm, and emotional intelligence that Monaghan could bring to Mary. Throughout the trilogy, Mary evolves from a playful companion into a courageous warrior. His decision to ride into battle alongside Éowyn becomes one of the story's most powerful acts of bravery. Together, they face the terrifying Witch King of Angmar, a foe believed impossible to defeat. Mary's surprise strike with the enchanted blade weakens the Witch King, making Éowyn's victory possible. Without Mary's courage, one of the greatest triumphs in the War of the Ring might never have happened. Fans also cherish his friendship with Pippin. Their humor, loyalty, and unwavering support for one another provide warmth amid the darkness of the story. Whether stealing fireworks in the Shire or charging into impossible battles, the two hobbits always felt like family. One delightful behind-the-scenes fact is that Monaghan and Billy Boyd became genuine best friends during production. The pair spent so much time joking together that crew members often struggled to keep straight faces between takes. Their real-life chemistry naturally carried over onto the screen, making Merry and Pippin's friendship feel completely authentic. Following the trilogy, Monaghan's career reached another milestone when he joined the cast of the hit television series Lost as Charlie Pace. The role introduced him to a new generation of viewers and earned widespread acclaim. He later appeared in X-Men Origins, Wolverine, Moonhaven, and several independent productions. Beyond acting, Monaghan developed a passion for wildlife conservation and even hosted the nature documentary series Wild Things with Dominic Monaghan, traveling the world to explore some of Earth's most fascinating and dangerous creatures. His personal life attracted media attention during his long-term relationship with actress Evangeline Lilly, his Lost co-star, though the couple later separated. Monaghan has no children and generally keeps his private life away from public scrutiny. Even today, he remains closely connected with Tolkien fans, regularly attending conventions, podcasts, and reunion events with fellow cast members. His enthusiasm for The Lord of the Rings has never faded, and his stories from the set continue to entertain audiences around the world. Merry proved that true courage isn't measured by size but by the willingness to stand beside friends when hope seems lost. Dominic Monaghan is 49 years old in 2026. Miranda Otto, Éowyn. When the armies of darkness believed victory was certain, one warrior stepped forward and shattered an ancient prophecy. That unforgettable moment belonged to Éowyn, and Miranda Otto transformed Tolkien's determined shield maiden into one of fantasy cinema's greatest heroines. Born on December 16, 1967, in Brisbane, Australia, Miranda Otto was around 35 years old during the filming of The Return of the King. Acting was already part of her family heritage, as her father, Barry Otto, enjoyed a respected career in Australian film and television. Before joining Peter Jackson's trilogy, Miranda had built an impressive resume through acclaimed performances in films such as The Thin Red Line, What Lies Beneath, and numerous Australian productions. Éowyn's journey is one of heartbreak, courage, and self-discovery. Longing to prove herself in a world dominated by warriors, she refuses to remain behind while others fight for freedom. Disguising herself as a soldier, she secretly rides into the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. Her confrontation with the Witch King remains one of the defining moments of the entire trilogy. When the Dark Lord declares that no man can kill me, Éowyn removes her helmet and replies, "I am no man," before delivering the fatal blow. The scene has become one of the most iconic moments in modern fantasy filmmaking. A fascinating production detail is that Otto trained extensively in sword fighting and horseback riding to perform as much of her own action work as possible. The demanding physical preparation allowed her battle sequences to feel remarkably authentic and emotionally convincing. Following The Lord of the Rings, Otto continued balancing Hollywood productions with Australian cinema. She appeared in Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds opposite Tom Cruise, later starred in the supernatural horror film Annabelle Creation, and earned praise for television roles including Homeland 24, Legacy, and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, where she portrayed the formidable Zelda Spellman. Miranda married actor Peter O'Brien in 2003, and the couple welcomed a daughter before later divorcing. Throughout her career, she has largely kept her family life private while focusing on meaningful acting projects rather than constant blockbuster appearances. In recent years, Otto returned to Tolkien's world by lending her voice to Éowyn in promotional work connected to Middle-earth projects, delighting longtime fans. She continues appearing in film, television, and theater, while remaining one of Australia's most respected actresses. Éowyn's triumph reminds audiences that bravery often comes from those history least expects to become heroes. Miranda Otto is 58 years old in 2026. Sean Astin, Samwise Gamgee. Every legendary quest needs a hero willing to carry hope when everyone else has lost it. In The Return of the King, that hero wasn't the strongest warrior or the greatest king. It was Samwise Gamgee. Sean Astin's heartfelt performance turned Tolkien's humble gardener into the emotional heart of the entire trilogy. Born on February 25, 1971, in Santa Monica, California, Sean Astin was about 31 to 32 years old while filming the final chapter of the trilogy. Acting had been part of his life since childhood. He first captured audiences' attention in The Goonies before earning critical acclaim for films like Rudy and Toy Soldiers. By the time Peter Jackson cast him as Sam, Astin already had years of experience portraying determined underdogs. Sam's unwavering loyalty defines the entire story. As Frodo grows weaker under the ring's influence, Sam refuses to abandon his friend despite impossible odds. His stirring speech about hope in Osgiliath and his unforgettable declaration, "I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you," have become some of the most emotional moments in movie history. Audiences embraced Sam because he represented unconditional friendship, quiet courage, and selfless love. One remarkable behind-the-scenes story reveals Astin's commitment to the role. During the filming of the Grey Haven sequence, he accidentally stepped on broken glass while running into the water toward Elijah Wood. The injury required stitches, yet production resumed after treatment, and the emotional scene remains one of the trilogy's most powerful endings. The role earned Astin widespread acclaim and helped The Return of the King win all 11 Academy Awards for which it was nominated. Although many fans believed Astin deserved an Oscar nomination himself, his performance has continued to receive recognition as one of the greatest supporting roles in fantasy cinema. After Middle-earth, Astin enjoyed a successful and diverse career. He appeared in 50 first dates, voiced characters in numerous animated series, starred in The Strain, and won over a new generation of fans as Bob Newby in Netflix's Stranger Things. His touching performance in the series reminded audiences why he remains one of Hollywood's most beloved character actors. Sean married Christine Harrell in 1992, and together they have 3 daughters. Away from acting, he has completed endurance races, written books, worked as a motivational speaker, and supported numerous charitable organizations. Even after decades in the entertainment industry, Astin still speaks about Samwise with genuine gratitude, often describing the role as one of the greatest blessings of his career. In the end, it wasn't magical power that saved Middle-earth. It was loyalty, compassion, and the courage to keep walking one more step. Sean Astin is 55 years old in 2026. Ian McKellen, Gandalf. Long before the armies of Middle-earth marched into their final battle, one figure stood as the guiding light of hope, wisdom, and courage. With a flowing white beard, piercing eyes, and a voice that could command kings or comfort frightened hobbits, Gandalf became the soul of the Lord of the Rings. Bringing that legendary wizard to life was one of Britain's greatest actors, Sir Ian McKellen. Born on May 25, 1939 in Burnley, Lancashire, England, Ian McKellen was around 62 to 64 years old during the filming of The Return of the King. By then, he had already spent decades earning worldwide respect as a Shakespearean actor. Before entering Middle-earth, audiences knew him for acclaimed performances in Richard III, Gods and Monsters, which earned him an Academy Award nomination, and as Magneto in the X-Men franchise. As Gandalf the White, McKellen portrayed the spiritual leader of the Free Peoples during the War of the Ring. Whether confronting Saruman, encouraging Aragorn, defending Minas Tirith, or inspiring frightened soldiers before impossible battles, Gandalf embodied hope when darkness seemed overwhelming. His calm authority and unwavering belief in goodness made him one of cinema's most beloved fantasy characters. Among his many unforgettable moments, Gandalf's defense of Minas Tirith, his reunion with Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli after returning from death, and his emotional farewell at the Grey Havens continue to resonate deeply with audiences. McKellen balanced immense power with warmth and humanity, making Gandalf feel both mythical and deeply relatable. One fascinating behind-the-scenes fact is that McKellen often had to perform emotional scenes completely alone because characters of vastly different sizes were filmed separately using forced perspective techniques. In one memorable instance, he became genuinely emotional after spending hours acting without fellow cast members present, later admitting that the technical challenges could sometimes feel surprisingly lonely. His performance earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, one of the trilogy's most significant acting honors. Following The Lord of the Rings, McKellen returned as Gandalf in the Hobbit trilogy while continuing to portray Magneto in additional X-Men films. He also appeared in Mr. Holmes, numerous stage productions, and television projects, remaining one of the world's most celebrated classical actors. In recognition of his extraordinary contributions to drama, he has received countless honors throughout his career, including a knighthood from Queen Elizabeth II in 1991. McKellen has never married and has long been one of the entertainment industry's most respected LGBTQ+ advocates. Beyond acting, he dedicates considerable time to charity work, education, and promoting equality. Even into his late 80s, he has continued performing on stage and screen, demonstrating remarkable energy and passion for his craft. In 2024, he suffered a fall during a London stage performance, sustaining injuries that temporarily interrupted his theater work, but he later recovered and expressed his determination to continue acting. Like Gandalf himself, Ian McKellen has spent a lifetime reminding audiences that wisdom, kindness, and courage never grow old. Ian McKellen is 87 years old in 2026. Orlando Bloom, Legolas. With impossible precision, unmatched agility, and an almost supernatural calm in the heat of battle, Legolas became one of the defining action heroes of the 21st century. For Orlando Bloom, the role didn't simply launch a career, it transformed him into one of Hollywood's biggest international stars almost overnight. Born on January 13, 1977, in Canterbury, England, Orlando Bloom was only about 24 to 26 years old while filming The Return of the King. Remarkably, he had graduated from the Guildhall School of Music and Drama only days before being cast by Peter Jackson. At the time, Bloom was virtually unknown, making Legolas his first major film role. As the Elven Prince of Mirkwood, Legolas combined extraordinary combat skills with quiet wisdom and unwavering loyalty. His friendship with Gimli evolved from centuries-old distrust into one of the trilogy's most heartwarming relationships. Audiences were mesmerized by his breathtaking action sequences, from sliding down staircases on a shield while firing arrows to bringing down massive oliphants with astonishing athleticism. One memorable production secret reveals that many of Legolas's seemingly impossible stunts combined practical effects with carefully integrated visual effects. However, Bloom still underwent months of intensive archery, swordsmanship, horseback riding, and physical conditioning. His natural athletic ability allowed him to perform a surprising number of movements himself before digital enhancements completed the illusion. Immediately after The Lord of the Rings, Bloom became one of Hollywood's most sought-after leading men. He starred as Will Turner in Disney's enormously successful Pirates of the Caribbean series alongside Johnny Depp and Keira Knightley, followed by major roles in Kingdom of Heaven, Troy, Elizabethtown, and later returned for the Hobbit trilogy despite Legolas not appearing in Tolkien's original Hobbit novel. Bloom has also worked extensively as a producer and humanitarian. As a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, he has traveled to numerous countries advocating for children's education, healthcare, and emergency relief efforts. His personal life has often attracted media attention. Bloom was previously married to Australian supermodel Miranda Kerr, with whom he shares a son, Flynn. Following their divorce, he became engaged to singer Katy Perry, and together they welcomed their daughter, Daisy Dove Bloom, in 2020. In recent years, Bloom has balanced blockbuster productions with independent films and streaming series, including Carnival Row. He remains active in charitable work while maintaining close friendships with many members of the Fellowship cast. Legolas showed that grace and humility could exist alongside extraordinary skill, and Orlando Bloom carried that same balance into a career that continues to evolve. Orlando Bloom is 49 years old in 2026. Viggo Mortensen, Aragorn. There are few moments in film history as inspiring as watching a reluctant ranger finally embrace his destiny as king. Aragorn's journey from wandering exile to the ruler of Gondor gave The Return of the King its emotional backbone, and Viggo Mortensen's unforgettable performance elevated the character into one of cinema's greatest heroes. Born on October 20th, 1958 in New York City, Viggo Mortensen was around 43 to 45 years old during production of the trilogy's final installment. Before joining Peter Jackson's epic, Mortensen had built a respected career with memorable performances in films such as The Indian Runner, Crimson Tide, G.I. Jane, and A Perfect Murder. Interestingly, he wasn't the production's original Aragorn. Actor Stuart Townsend was initially cast, but after rehearsals began, the filmmakers decided the role required someone older, with greater emotional gravitas. Mortensen accepted the part at the last minute after encouragement from his son, who was already a devoted fan of Tolkien's novels. Aragorn's transformation reaches its peak in The Return of the King. From leading the paths of the dead to delivering the unforgettable "For Frodo" speech before the Black Gate, he becomes the leader Middle-earth desperately needs. His coronation and reunion with Arwen provide one of the trilogy's most satisfying emotional conclusions. Audiences admired Aragorn because he never sought power for its own sake. Instead, he accepted responsibility only when his people needed him most. One of the most famous behind-the-scenes stories perfectly captures Mortensen's dedication. Throughout production, he insisted on carrying his real steel sword almost everywhere, even off-camera, believing it helped him fully inhabit Aragorn's character. He also performed many of his own stunts and became known for embracing the physically demanding conditions of filming. In another well-known incident from The Two Towers, he broke 2 toes after kicking an orc helmet, and Peter Jackson kept the take because Mortensen's reaction fit the scene perfectly. Following the trilogy, Mortensen deliberately avoided becoming a conventional blockbuster star. Instead, he pursued challenging dramatic roles that earned widespread critical acclaim. His performances in A History of Violence, Eastern Promises, Captain Fantastic, and Green Book showcased his extraordinary range, earning 3 Academy Award nominations for Best Actor. In addition to acting, Mortensen is an accomplished photographer, poet, musician, painter, and publisher, making him one of Hollywood's most versatile artists. Mortensen was previously in a long-term marriage with actress Exene Cervenka, and they have 1 son, Henry, whose enthusiasm for Tolkien played a direct role in changing his father's career forever. Today, he continues acting selectively while also directing films, including Falling. He remains deeply respected for consistently choosing artistic integrity over commercial fame. Aragorn reminded the world that true leadership is earned through humility, sacrifice, and unwavering honor. Viggo Mortensen is 68 years old in 2026. Elijah Wood, Frodo Baggins. The fate of Middle-earth rested not in the hands of the strongest warrior or the wisest king, but in a quiet hobbit whose greatest strength was his compassion. Frodo Baggins carried the One Ring across impossible distances, and Elijah Wood delivered a performance that remains one of the defining portrayals in fantasy film history. Born on January 28, 1981 in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Elijah Wood was around 20 to 22 years old during the filming of The Return of the King. Although still remarkably young, he had already spent more than a decade acting in Hollywood. As a child star, he appeared in acclaimed films including Avalon, The Good Son, The War, Flipper, Deep Impact, and The Faculty. His expressive eyes and emotional sensitivity made him an ideal choice for Tolkien's unlikely hero. Frodo's journey reaches its heartbreaking conclusion in The Return of the King. By this stage, the ring has taken an enormous physical and emotional toll. Every step toward Mount Doom becomes more painful as its corrupting influence grows stronger. Wood portrayed this gradual deterioration with extraordinary subtlety. Rather than relying on dramatic speeches, he conveyed Frodo's exhaustion through small facial expressions, trembling movements, and quiet moments of despair. Some of the film's most unforgettable scenes belong to him. The desperate climb up Mount Doom, the emotional reunion with Sam after destroying the ring, the bittersweet farewell at the Grey Havens, and the realization that some wounds can never fully heal. Audiences connected deeply with Frodo because he wasn't fearless. He simply kept moving forward despite overwhelming fear. One fascinating behind-the-scenes fact is that Wood was so determined to play Frodo that, before officially auditioning, he created his own homemade audition tape. Wearing simple costume pieces and filming in nearby woods, he performed scenes from the novel and sent them directly to Peter Jackson. The creative effort impressed the filmmakers and helped demonstrate just how committed he already was to becoming Frodo. Another remarkable production detail is that Wood spent years filming in New Zealand, often working under physically demanding conditions. Many close-up scenes required him to portray extreme emotional exhaustion for hours at a time, making Frodo one of the trilogy's most psychologically challenging roles. Following The Lord of the Rings, Elijah Wood deliberately avoided being typecast as a blockbuster leading man. Instead, he pursued a wide variety of independent films, voice acting, and television roles. He starred in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Sin City, Everything is Illuminated, Wilfred, Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency, and numerous independent productions that showcased his versatility. Beyond acting, Wood became a successful producer through his company Spectre Vision, supporting innovative independent horror and science fiction films. His passion for unusual storytelling has earned him respect far beyond his work in front of the camera. Wood has largely kept his personal life private. He and his longtime partner, film producer Mette Marie Kongsved, have welcomed children together, though they rarely discuss their family publicly. Friends and colleagues often describe him as humble, thoughtful, and deeply appreciative of the opportunities the Lord of the Rings brought him. Even more than 2 decades later, he continues attending special anniversary events and cast reunions, where his genuine affection for the trilogy remains unmistakable. For millions of fans around the world, Elijah Wood will always be the face of Frodo Baggins, a character who proved that even the smallest person can change the course of history. Elijah Wood is 45 years old in 2026.